All right, folks, thanks for being here. It's another Wednesday afternoon with our live trading, with our live Bible study for traders. Going through this book. Good news, we've got the audiobook version of this coming out in about 2 weeks. We're also going to have a workbook coming out with this. So today we are going to be talking about one of my least favorite topics, not trading with joy, obviously, one of my favorite topics, but self-control. Now, we talked about it last week, how Paul loves a list. And he put self-control, I think he put self-control at the end of the list. And one wonders if when people were reading it, because back then, obviously, Paul was writing these letters to a congregation to be read out loud. And as they're reading, and the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, blah, blah, blah. Self-control, against such there is no law. And he continues on. I wonder if there was anybody in the congregation who had heard that. Like, hang on, what is it again? Not sure about that. But anyway, so today's topic is about self-control. And when writing this book, this was the one that I was most concerned about because for a trader, let's jump into that just a second. I forgot. Let me read this. I went blah, 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 and I do apologize for that. But the fruit of the Spirit, this is from Galatians 5, 22 and 23. This is our roadmap, by the way. And we're going to go through these one by one, starting with the one you see there in front of you. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, otherwise known as patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Now, in the realm of trading, self-control is what we refer to as discipline. And we go through it in the book. We've got the trading success formula, and discipline is the key element there. We all know that discipline is the key element in any walk of life, in any skill or endeavor that you want to achieve. Discipline is the key there. So it's not unusual that Paul would have put this in here. When it comes to trading, discipline and trading in an undisciplined way, you've got those two definitions of, well, you got the definition of insanity and what I would like to think of as the opposite. So we've heard it before. It was attributed to Einstein, but I don't think he actually said it. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Now that describes my early trading years perfectly, especially my day trading years. Every day I would commit the same mistakes over and over again, hoping that just this one time things would turn out for the better. And I don't like to blame social media too much because I recognize that this is social media. Thank you for being here, by the way. Drop down in the box if the audio is okay and where you happen to be from. By the way, hi, I'm Pepper. This is Godly Trading. So I think social media does traders a disservice when it comes to expectations that all they have to do is hit that one home run and they don't really have to build any discipline. So doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, that is actually what landed me in the bottom of that pit. Talked about it in, I think, week one of this. The guy's in the pit, people are walking by, and he can't get anybody to help him out until finally his buddy Bob jumps in the hole, and he's like, what are you doing? And Bob's like, I know the way out. I've been here before. So insanity, the definition of insanity, as a trader, every day doing the same thing and expecting that every day is going to turn out different, expecting that I would end the day not feeling miserable like I did the previous day was just crazy. So I think, okay, what's the opposite of that? What would be the opposite of that definition of insanity? I think that would be a perfect definition of discipline. So if insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result, then discipline would be doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same result. And that is trading discipline perfectly. You come up with a plan, you backtest your plan, and you just trade it day in, day out, and you expect those same results. We're going to go over it in, I think it's the faith chapter, where we look at the evidence of things not seen. Yes, it is a faith chapter. Evidence of things not seen. That is that's the expectation. But anyway, St. Charles of Brown, one of the apostles, I believe he was. This was me on a daily basis. Today, by the way, please tell me you get this reference. If you don't, then you're very young and you make me feel old if you don't get this reference. excuse me, every day I would say, today I'm going to kick that football of discipline. Today is the day. And every day, the market, otherwise known as Lucy, would take that football and whoop, and just, I say the market. It was really these guys up in my brain. The barrel of monkeys would just be pressing buttons. And every day I would start off, Charlie Brown runs toward the football. I'm going to kick that football. I'm going to be disciplined today. And at the end of the day, good grief, I'm flat on my back and I'm staring up at the sky, staring up at trades, at an account that's blown or trades that are blown, thinking, I thought today was the day I was going to kick that football of discipline. How many times have we been through this? All right, so let's jump into Paul writing a letter to his friends back at the Church of Rome. Now remember, Paul wrote, I think 2/3 of the New Testament, maybe somewhere between half and 2/3. I don't remember the exact number. And you think, okay, well, Paul wrote the Bible, a big chunk of the Bible. At the time he wrote it, Paul was just writing a letter to his friends at a city where he founded a church, where he had helped them found a church. So bear that in mind as you hear what Paul is saying. I'm going to get my face out of the way here so that you can see all of this. So in Romans 7, he says, for I do not understand what I am doing, for I am not practicing what I want to do, but I do the very thing I hate. Oh my goodness. Did Paul day trade in his spare time? Paul says, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not practicing what I want to do. I'm doing the thing that I don't want to do. How many times have I said that? How many times have you said that? Every day, I just want to follow my plan. I just want to be focused. I just want to be disciplined. I just want to follow my plan. I don't want to trade with any mistakes today. Today is the day. Paul's saying, I don't understand what I'm doing. Oh my goodness. What am I doing? I'm glad there was no audio recording device in my trading room when back during those days, because I would have said this over and over again. He goes on later here to say, click, for the good that I will to do, I do not do. But the evil that I will not to do, that I practice. In other words, he's saying the very thing that I desperately want to do, the good, the discipline, the following of my plan, I don't do it. But the thing that I don't want to do, the over trading, revenge trading, fear of missing out, jumping in on a trade when the setup has already expired, that is what I'm doing. Paul's like, what am I doing? And then he sums up this little portion of his letter and says, oh, wretched man that I am, who will deliver me from this body of death? And you think, okay, Pepper, you're telling us that we should have discipline, and you're giving us Paul as an example, but Paul is saying he can't do it. What hope, if the Apostle Paul, St. Paul, if he can't do it, what hope do we have? Well, you have to think about the reason that Paul is writing, again, this letter to his friends. He's not doing this to let them down. He's not doing this to put a burden on them. What he's doing, first and foremost, is saying, guys, if I'm going through this, I know that you're going through this, right? I'm your spiritual mentor. So we're in this together. And guys, I'm in the same boat as you are. I mean, discipline is something that I have learned to develop. And all of these emotional obstacles, I am on the other side of that hill. But I mean, they still attack me like they attack everybody else. Paul is saying the same thing to his buddies. Guys, we're in this same boat. I know that you are struggling with this. I am struggling with this. We're all in this together. And he's doing it to give them hope. He's also being vulnerable and honest with them. And like we all need to be with one another. So that when I say, guys, follow me, Paul actually said something later on, and I don't remember which book. Follow me as I follow Christ. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine saying, hey, I'm a Christian to be held up to a standard that y'all should follow? Oh, buddy, I'm hoping there one day, not there yet. As a trader, though, a lot of mentors and coaches say, follow me as I follow my trade plan. And a lot of people can say, well, it's easy for you to say you're on the other side of that hump. Well, Paul is being vulnerable and saying, guys, I've been through this before. And you guys, I've been through this before. Just because I had climbed out of the pit doesn't mean that I wasn't at the bottom of that pit before. I mean, again, the story of me driving to work and being miserable and just anyone struggling with a thing, whether you're whatever that struggle, an emotional thing, whatever that struggle happens to be, whether it's addiction or whatever. For me, it was, well, I guess it was a form of addiction, over trading, revenge trading, all of that emotional trading. You have to hit rock bottom first before you say, that's it, I'm done, I'm just going to follow, I'm just going to do what I need to do. We all have to get there before we can lead someone else out. So one of the reasons I wrote this book, matter of fact, probably the number one reason I wrote this book, was that day I was driving around in my work truck and I was listening to a video of a guy talking about trading psychology and how to overcome the emotions that sabotages. And he was just giving the most bizarre, off the wall, dare I say it, ungodly advice. Imagine your perfect self and then go up and talk to your perfect self and have your perfect self hug you and just have your perfect self that you have imagined guide you to. And I'm screaming back at the radio, probably out loud, definitely out loud, like, no, you idiot. If you are the problem, if you're the problem, how is more of you the solution? For any of you out there who are non-native English speakers, you are actually at an advantage, I believe, in a lot of what we're doing. One of the things I'm learning more and more is the value of, in the Bible, going to the original Hebrew, going to the original Greek. And the English translation just, in a lot of ways, leaves a lot to be desired. So, what am I trying to say? If you were wanting to buy a book like this one on trading, on how to develop more self-control, what section of the bookstore would you find the book in? Now, of course, you can't find this at Barnes & Noble. You can only find it at my website. You would probably go to the self-help section. And the very name self-help sets us up for failure, because the very title self-help means that we can help ourselves, and we absolutely cannot help ourselves. We have to admit, much like the folks who follow the 12-step program, admit you have a problem and admit that there is a higher power that you have to be subject to. We have to admit that we cannot do this ourselves. We have a problem, and that is where self-control begins, when you give up control of self. And it is the self-control oxymoronic nature there. You're the problem. You can't be the solution. In order for you to develop self-control, you have to give up control of yourself. I know it doesn't make any sense. We are searching for joy, right? Trading with joy. And I didn't actually think of this acronym until today, as a matter of fact. I heard this when I was a kid, I think, in church. Joy stands for Jesus, others, and you. And that's sort of a priority order there. And you think, well, yeah, well, I may not be a Christian. I may not believe the same as you. That's fine. I mean, am I saying that you can't have true self-control apart from Jesus? Well, probably, but that's not where I'm going at this moment. You have to be willing to, say that this whole self-control business is just not working for me. I am unable to do it, which means I need to find someone else outside of myself to help me in that. Now, higher power, if from whatever religion you happen to be, I'd highly recommend Christianity. If you're looking for one, let me know. Whatever that higher power happens to be, it can be others, it can be your family, especially needs to be fellow traders and mentors. There's an example in Titus. I believe it's Titus. Timothy, one of those two. Starts with a T and it's in the New Testament, where Paul talks about the three relationships that every Christian needs to have. And I believe, again, this is one of those universal principles. And if you happen to be an atheist and you think, by the way, thank you for being here if you happen to be an atheist. If you happen to be an atheist and you think, I'm just not on board with that, this is still applicable to you. Everyone needs in their life, in every area of life, those three relationships. Somebody who is more experienced than you in the thing, someone who's at your same level in the thing, and someone who has less experience with you in the thing, whether it's learning how to play the piano or trade, or as in your Christian walk, or being a father or a husband or a parent. Father and parent, same thing. You need those three relationships. You need someone to mentor you. You need someone to bounce ideas off of and walk beside you as the two of you go through this at the same level. And then someone else for you to mentor. And I call it my group of three. And I've mentioned it in the book. Every trader needs to find their group of three. You need to have a guide. The allegory in here. You see this little picture of a pathway. The journey, the path is the image that I use in the book. So you need a guide. You need someone who is a mentor. They don't have to be an expert. They just have to be further down the road than you are. Someone who's willing to help you out, that has the answers to the questions that you have. You need a fellow traveler, someone that you can complain with, someone that you can cry with, someone that you can experience the joys of milestones with, that is with you at the exact same level, so that neither one of you is judging the other, because neither one of you is above the other one. You need that. A group can suffice for this. If you need some advice on some groups to join, just let me know. I've got a couple of different trading groups, online groups, that I would recommend. I'm members of, just people that come in there and talk trading throughout the day, throughout the week, that kind of a thing. A couple of different platforms, depending on what you're looking for. And you also, and this might sound counterintuitive for some of you, you also need a beginning traveler, someone that you can mentor. You're thinking, oh, hang on. I get the guide, absolutely. Mentor, go pay for a coach, go find a friend. In something like the specialized world of Forex trading, you're probably not going to find someone in your neighborhood where you live that's a Forex trader that's more experienced. Maybe you will. That'd be fantastic. But the guide can be, there's nothing wrong with paying a mentor for his time, because his time is very valuable, or her time. The fellow travel, that makes sense. I'm in a group. We're all in this together, like Paul mentioned. But the beginning travel, what do I have to offer someone else? I'm struggling. No matter where you are, there's always going to be someone further behind than you are. Stop on your path, turn around and look, and you're going to find somebody. This is your first day trading. There's somebody who's never traded before. If you are just learning how to trade, there's going to be someone out there who's always wanted to trade but never even bothered cracking a book. There's always going to be someone out there who knows less than you do. And you don't value what you know because you know it. That's from Myron Golden. We all undervalue the information in our own brain because it's us. It's our information. Oh, no one's going to want to hear what I have to say. I'm not an expert. Go to any of those channels that I mentioned, and you're going to find people asking questions. You're like, oh, well, I know the answer to that. Even I know the answer to that. There's always somebody out there. But here's the thing. Here's why I highly recommend everyone not only get the mentor, the guide, and the fellow traveler, but the beginning traveler. They're going to ask you questions that you didn't know that you didn't know, and you're going to go find the answer. Or they're going to ask you questions that's going to make you think and reevaluate things that you thought you knew that maybe you didn't know why you knew it or why you thought it. It happens to me all the time. People ask a question and go, oh, I never thought of that. I have an answer. I'm not sure why that's my answer, but I have an answer. So everyone out there needs these three. When I talk about Jesus, others, and you, that this is, find that higher authority to give you the strength to aid you in self-control. And then find this group of three. And this, more than anything else, will help you in your trading. Trading is trading can be a very lonely profession. It's just you and your platform and your keyboard and nobody else in the room. For a lot of people, they want everyone out. Having a community around you is the only way forward. We are here to help you in that respect. Like I said, if you need to find a community, if you need a coach, I'm a coach. I know other coaches. There are plenty of people who we can plug you in to find those guides. I've got some great open source free communities that you can join where you can talk to other people. And that is the best place. You're going to go looking for a guide. And along the way, you're going to find those fellow travelers. And then you're going to have these people that will pop up and asking you questions. And the minute you answer a question, like, oh, okay, fine, I know that answer to that. You're going to feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof when you answer someone's question. They're going to say, oh my goodness, thank you so much. You must be an awesome trader. It's going to make you feel, well, go to your head, but it kind of will. So self-control is an ongoing process. sadly, this is the one milestone that we're going to get to. It's the first one, the first milestone we're going to get to that there is no end. There's a hump to get over, like I have done, and why I'm doing this. In this scenario here, I'm the guide, and you're the journeyman. You're my beginning traveler. I've gotten over that hump of discipline, but there's a hump in the road, and then the road goes on until you die, right? So it's never ending. But the good news is you can get 90% of the way there pretty quickly, and then you're just working on the other 10% for the rest of your life. But self-control, if I can leave you with anything, self-control starts with admitting that you can't control yourself. Self-control starts with giving up control of yourself. Guys, that is the best way to start this journey, is to make that commitment and say, I am not going to try to do this on my own anymore. I need help. If you are a trader, you need help. I am a trader. I need help. So that's it for this week, guys. Next week, we'll be back at the same exact time. Like I said, we've got the audiobook coming out. We've got the workbook coming out. If you have any questions, please send me an email, pepper@godlytrading.com. And with that, guys, I will see you all next week.